a young mother in training to be a police officer. But no one saw this coming.
It was the worst day of our life.
It's video you'll only see on the Shade Room. After a full day of teaching, her police instructor pulled out a gun, shot her in the chest, killing her. Her attorneys say he was joking around with the group and thought it was his training gun.
He got away with murder. That's what we feel.
But her family wants justice. Why they say he should have never had a loaded gun in the first place. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. All Marissa Manyan ever wanted to be was a police officer, and she finally achieved that dream in February 2022 when she was hired as a special officer at the Anacostia Neighborhood Library in Washington, D.C. August 4th, 2022, just months into her role, a contractor was brought in for a special training. The class went fine, but as soon as that class wrapped, the unthinkable happened. This was released exclusively to the Shade Room, a video inside a training room at the library. Around 3:30 p.m., you can see Manyan and her colleagues were socializing. They were wrapping up their session for the day. Before they all went their separate ways, though, they took a group photo. Look closely on the far right. That's 60-year-old Jesse Porter, a retired Metro D.C. police officer. There's no audio, but court records show that Manyan interrupted and told the group that she needed to take her face mask off for the photo. Then everybody laughed about it. One witness said, quote, Porter had been joking with her all day because she was having difficulty with some of the material, and the group had been joking with her because they'd been waiting for her to put up her hair and fix her boot throughout the day. They were having fun with it. She was laughing and we were joking, end quote. Back to the video. They reassemble for the photo, but then you can see Porter step out and fire his loaded 9mm Glock pistol. We edited out the shooting itself. It's really too graphic to show, but afterward you can see Manyan grab her chest and fall to the ground while some of her colleagues rush out the door. You can see Porter is visibly upset. He puts his hands up before rushing over to check on Manyan. One witness heard him yell, "Damn, damn, damn." Another witness heard him yell another expletive before rushing over to her side, where he and another man went into, quote, medical mode.
Did not make any sense to me.
It's still not adding up for Cherie Manyan, Marissa's mother, who got the horrific news later that day. Her only daughter was dead.
There was no need for a gun in the library, and there was no need for a gun at that time.
And that's a question that'll soon be at the center of a civil lawsuit that the family is filing against the District of Columbia. We spoke to their team of attorneys who point out city code, which states that no person holding a gun license shall carry a pistol in buildings or offices occupied by the District of Columbia, its agencies, or instrumentalities.
This is not just an acquiescence. This is a concerted effort to disregard the safety and the constitutional protections and rights of Ms. Manyan. This is not just about Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter was acting at the behest of and on behalf of the DC government, but with the DC government was able to walk brazenly into a building with a loaded firearm and ammunition. That is the pattern, that is a practice, and that is what the civil suit is about.
Something else that was revealed in court records too, a witness statement that claims that Porter made a funny comment earlier in the day and pointed an orange training firearm at Manyan, simulating shooting her. The witness stated that they appeared to be playing around as she knew him for about a year and knew him to be playful as to not make the training, quote, dry. When police showed up to the scene later, you can see Porter was never placed in handcuffs and was allowed to stay home as the case played out in court.
What they should have done and what policy requires is they should have taken his weapon from him immediately. They should have handcuffed him immediately. They should have sent him for drug and alcohol testing immediately. Yep. They should have separated himself from the scene immediately. That's how you protect the integrity of what happened. Quite frankly, people were very casual. Very casual. I didn't treat him as if he was a shooter. But we have the civil process. These facts will come out.
This summer, Porter took a plea deal.
A plea deal of involuntary manslaughter And that was something I can tell you that the family vehemently objected to and made those objections very clear. Mr. Porter was sentenced to the very bottom of the guideline, the 36 months that you referenced.
The deal is lighter than the second-degree murder charge that a grand jury originally called for.
He had a weapon. He pulled it. He deserved more time than 36 months. He deserved, honestly, life in prison to my family.
Oh, God. Mm. Nothing can bring her back.
My daughter is dead? No, man. I think we need bigger justice than this, man.
Manyan leaves behind a 5-year-old son who just started kindergarten. We also reached out to city leaders about possible civil litigation. We're still waiting to hear back. But in court, Porter's attorneys argued that he never intended to shoot and kill Manyan and that this was just a horrible tragedy. We're also told that they asked the judge for leniency for him based on his lack of criminal history and his 33 years in law enforcement. The judge did take some of that into account, justifying that 3-year sentence for him, and said that he believed that Mr. Porter was deeply and genuinely remorseful for what he did. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter.